Mr. Aliberti, I'll keep an eye on the waiting room and the participants if you want to get started.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sure.
Wonderful. Well, again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you taking the time to be here with us this morning. We're going to be discussing or reviewing, I should say, end of year events. That's the purpose of the meeting today. We'll be pushing out, further information as we get closer to these events, just with the ever-changing world that we're living in at this point in time. Things can change at a moment's notice, and so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So again, this is what we have for information to date. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the first event. And Sam, okay, you've got that, great. This was last Friday's event. So we had our summa cum laude announcement to recognize academic achievement for this Latin honor distinction. And we did that via live stream, but we did have summa cum laude recipients with us, those who could be with us, and their invited guests. And that went relatively smoothly. Obviously it would have been nice to have everybody there, but we had some extenuating circumstances that unfortunately some people couldn't be there. But with that being said, we'll move on to our next event. We will be holding having a rose ceremony for graduation. For those of you guys who are not familiar with the rose ceremony, roses are purchased and given out during the ceremony to say thank you to those of you who have those who have supported you through your time at Oak Hill High School or throughout life. We typically do this obviously at the Civic Center and hand these out. We have a set amount of time, usually 10 minutes or so. The students can walk around the Civic Center and hand these roses out to those people that I mentioned. However, that will look differently this year with the graduation being at the airport. But we just want to make sure that you guys know that we purchase, I think, is it one? Sam, could you just confirm that? Is it one or two roses that we purchase for each student?
One per student, and any additional you would purchase yourself for $3.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And so, I'm sorry. So just the reality is that, you have until May 5th, that's Wednesday of this week, to bring in additional money to Ms. Newrider in the main office, just so that you can purchase additional roses if you so choose. Co-curricular awards are this week also. These are for drama and any other clubs that we have going on, for this school year, FBLA, robotics club. I'm sure that there's some others which I am forgetting off the top of my head. But those awards are this Thursday at May 6th, on May 6th. Please know this is a live streamed assembly. There are no in-person attendance at this event. And it does have a new start time of 3 p.m. It was at 2, but it's hard to be at home if you're here at school and take part in that assembly. So we pushed the start back time by an hour. Please, again, know this is different from what we sent home through the letters that we sent to you guys. So just we'll make sure that a link is sent out so that you guys can see that awards assembly live from the comfort of your home. Cap and gown photos, that's the week of the 10th. And so for cohorts A and C, that's Tuesday, May 11th, and cohorts B and D, Thursday, May 13th at 8:15 a.m. We're going to be giving those caps and gowns to you with other graduation regalia at that time. But it is important that you guys, in order to get your cap and gown and take it with you at the end, that your school debts are paid for. So if you have any school bills that need to be taken care of, please make sure you do that either prior to or the day of the cap and gown photos. And then just also another question that's been asked during the cap and gown section of our conversation in the past has been whether there will be a group photo or not. Unfortunately, there will be no group photo in the sense of you guys getting together on the bleachers and taking it that way. However, Life Touch will be taking the individual photos and photoshopping them together to be a group photo, which you guys can then purchase from that point forward. The Mountain Valley Conference Honors Banquet. So this is one that's for summa cum laude students only and their parents. Essentially, this usually is a nice event that we have at Spruce Mountain High School where there's a dinner, there would be a guest speaker, and then there's a chance for scholarships. Unfortunately, because of the times that we're living in, we can't have that happen. So it'll be a live stream assembly for those who would like to see this at home. However, again, summa cum laude students and parents can attend in person. And the nice part is that the guest speaker will still be able to watch that. And also the scholarships that are available through the Mountain Valley Conference will be raffled off at the end of the evening. And we've had really good luck throughout my years here at Oak Hill High School with at least 3 students receiving, I believe, $500 scholarships, which is great. Next up is the Senior Assembly. And so this is the one that takes place during the day. And so during that assembly, it'll be for cohorts A and C on Tuesday, May 18th, and cohorts B and D on Thursday, May 20th. It'll be just about an hour-long assembly that we'll do on the Stacey Doucette Memorial Football Field. We'll be doing class celebrations in recognition of graduation memorabilia, and we just ask that people wear business casual attire along with their cap and gown. Also, the assembly will be live streamed and no additional guests will be permitted. The nice thing is about doing it outside on the field is that we are able to have the student body outside. Want to thank obviously Miss G, Mr. Hopkins, and anybody else that's been involved in putting this together. Essentially, Mr. Palmer, there it is, in putting together the format for the assembly. So we're bringing some additional bleachers in. We've got a stage that we're going to put together outside. So it should be a really nice event as long as the weather cooperates. And it will be both. I say that, Sam, the students would be on the field. So students will be in person. So all students will be in person for this assembly, but it's any additional people. So for instance, like if your parents wanted to watch or family members, from away or whatnot, we'll be providing a link for them to watch it virtually. So again, students in person, anybody else would be joining us virtually.
Yep, and we'll be in touch. We'll send out more information about, like a weather date, or not a weather date, pardon me, but an alternative plan if the weather is inclement for those days, what we'll do instead of being outside, but hopefully it cooperates with us and we'll have some really nice events outside.
Mm-hmm. And Sam, just to answer your question, you only attend your cohort's assembly. So if you're a cohort A kiddo, you're going to be here for that assembly on Tuesday, May 18th. If you're a cohort B student, you would attend on Thursday. You don't need to be at both assemblies. And then class night. So these are, it's kind of like we have a day event with the assembly, and then we have class night at night on the same night. So for instance, if you take a look, cohort A, we have Tuesday, May 18th, and cohort B, Thursday, May 20th, B and D, May 20th. And so we will be asking students to arrive by 6 as the class night starts at 6:30. Again, it's on the football field, and we'll be marching in and have seniors in the front near the stage. And then this one will be for guests, and each senior will have 4 tickets so that they can invite 4 guests to be there for the event. We just ask that you wear, again, business casual attire along with your cap and gown. And we'll be live streaming the event also for those who cannot be there. So if you kind of think about it, like the day event is for you and your classmates and the school, and the night event is for parents and family members that you invite. And again, we'll have 4 tickets for each student to give out to whoever they would like to be in attendance for that evening. Again, we'll have a stage. It'll be live streamed. We've got a nice PA system out there. We think it'll be a really nice event, especially where we can hold it outside. It means that we can invite more people. And as always, though, as Ms. G said, we do have, a situation that may come up where, if we do have impending weather that would impact the event, we'd need to do something different, and we would be in touch.
Yeah. And if I could add a little bit,
of course.
Yep. Regarding the class night events where you're having guests who are not, our students who are outside of the school coming in, just make sure that they have their tickets with them, as that's like ticket for admission. So we make sure we're not overdoing our capacity for our outdoor setting. And additionally, we'll have ushers that will be seating families in groupings to make sure that we abide by social distancing and it's a safe event for everyone. And if you have any guests that need accessibility, please just let us know in advance so we can make sure we have reserved spots for your guests who might have some seating needs.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, there was a question about lunch. So Ari, we'll push the lunches back and I'll say that, we'll adjust the schedule accordingly. So like, I understand the concern about not having lunch or, it running into lunch. We'll make sure that we adjust the times accordingly so that we get all of our lunches in and that nobody misses lunch, essentially. Just a last day for all seniors is Friday, May 28th, which is coming right up. It's May 3rd today, so it's really, really quick. So those of you that are done and have passed all of your classes and things are looking good, your last day of regular classes will be Friday, May 28th. We just ask that you try to return your devices to the high school as best as you could on that last day. And then remote learners can drop off their devices throughout the day if need be. We do have a makeup day for any senior that needs the additional time, Tuesday, June 1st, because Monday is, I was going to ask Sam if Monday was, is it Memorial Day, Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep, so
okay.
The 31st, which is Memorial Day, so we have a no school day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just please be aware for those of you guys that, are working hard to kind of take care of things, that you do that prior to the 1st as best as you can. Just, per policy, I have to let students know that they cannot participate in graduation services on the Wednesday prior to graduation, which would be Wednesday, June 2nd. It's the next day. So please, for those of you guys who are, working hard to take care of things, make sure that you do that as soon as possible and make arrangements to just get it done. Just don't want to have to tell people that they can't participate. But, it is what it is at this point in time. We'll figure it out from there. We do have a couple of different marching practices scheduled as we plan on having you guys march in. I'll talk about graduation in just a moment here at the airport. So we do have a marching practice on Wednesday, June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, and then again on Friday, June 4th at 7:30 in the morning. Those are both right out on the football field. Again, the Stacey Doucette Memorial Field. And you just only need to dress regularly, but we do ask for shoes that you might be wearing at graduation.
And on one or the other of those days, there will be practice for speaking parts, and then also for seniors who are participating in like the musical numbers at graduation. So just if you know that applies to you, keep your eye out for more information coming about that with details.
And the last marching practice that we'll hold is actually on the morning of graduation. So Monday, June 7th at 9 o'clock. And that will be right at the Auburn-Lewiston Airport. Again, regular dress, but with shoes for graduation. If you need transportation, please let us know. You can let Miss New Rider know that, or if you see Miss G or myself walking through the building and you need to have transportation to get to the airport, please let us know and we'll help arrange that for you. The nice thing is that the airport, is letting us do this just so, again, you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. Our intent here is to have seats for all graduates down in front of the stage. And, we'll march in as you normally would have if we were at the Civic Center. And then, you'll sit in the seats right in front of the stage there, and have a front row seat to all the proceedings for graduation. Now, graduation itself, please don't forget this, is Monday, June 7th at 6 p.m. Again, at the Auburn-Lewiston Airport. Gates open at 7 p.m. for the drive-in ceremony. So, if you're looking to get there, early and line up, the gates will open at 5 p.m. We ask that you wear business casual attire with your cap and gown. If you're a musician, you want to make sure that you bring your instruments. And we'll get out further information about guest seating and details as we get closer to the date. It's a great question, Seraphin. So if that's a great question, Seraphin. So the ceremony starts at 6. I would say that, you try to be there at least a half an hour prior to, I know that there's going to be, some time to get in that needs to be allotted. This is our second year of doing a graduation like this, so I don't expect that it will be much of a wait in your vehicle once the ceremony starts. So, once the gates open. So once you're directed to your parking spot, we'll have a gathering area for all graduates, and you'll want to make your way over there as soon as possible. But I would say try not to be there any more than, no later than 5:30. And I say that only to make sure that we're lined up and ready to go exactly at 6 o'clock. We'll want to make sure that the the graduation goes on time and smoothly. And as far as tickets, Sam, we don't issue tickets, per se for individuals. Last year we issued parking passes for 2 vehicles. So, you as a graduate would be able to have 2 vehicles come in to the graduation ceremony, because it is a drive-in ceremony. So depending on the types of vehicles that you're bringing, depends on how many people you can invite to the ceremony. Just one of the things that you guys need to know is one of the reasons that senior leadership, graduation committee, and administration felt that an outdoor graduation would be beneficial, or more beneficial to us than at the Civic Center, was just for sheer numbers. We would only be allowed to have 5 people. You would only be able to invite 5 people to graduation if we were to do it indoors. And also, I'll get into this, I guess, in a minute here, but with the drive-in ceremony, you can obviously have more than that, more than 5 people, just given the size of vehicles that we have. Just a thought about that too, it's really important that, you're not renting an RV and packing, 50 people into an RV and coming into graduation. Those won't be permitted. Along with like any trailers, like if you were to bring like a tag along or something along that, you wouldn't want to do that. It just wouldn't be permissible. So, we just ask that you bring your normal vehicle with you, and you can bring as many people as you can fit into those vehicles. The guidance that we went on last year was that, people needed to stay in their vehicles as much as possible. Obviously, if you need to use the restroom, we have porta potties this year that will be up around the ceremony area, or in the parking lot, I should say, to use if need be. But ultimately, it's about staying in the vehicles, with the exception of obviously graduates. And again, we'll have more details about that. If parents can come out and join you as you cross the stage, things of that nature. At a later date. But just want to give you the basic information that we have at this point in time. So.
And I'll just to what Mr. Aliberti shared as well, that, another benefit of doing a drive-in graduation versus trying to do, in person in like the Civic Center or some event or some place like that, is that if one of you had to be quarantined, you can participate still by being in your vehicle with the windows up. So you wouldn't have to miss your graduation if you happen to be a close contact and be quarantined. So I don't know if you want to speak any more to that, but I think that's really important, that everybody should be able to participate doing it this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because if, say, for instance, you tested positive or you were deemed a close contact and you had to be quarantined, you would not be allowed into the Civic Center. They wouldn't allow you in. You'd have to watch your own graduation from home. So at least this way you are able to attend in person, obviously as Ms. G said, from your vehicle, but at least you're there, you can be present and participate that way, which was another benefit. And then project graduation, obviously they've been working hard, as you guys have heard on the announcements, to really appreciate their efforts to do something super positive for you guys after the ceremony. So that would be Monday night after graduation into Tuesday. Transportation will be provided from the Auburn-Lewiston Airport to the Waterville YMCA afterwards, which is pretty exciting. For those of you guys, well, you wouldn't have, but I can remember my project graduation was a lot of fun, spending time with my friends, kind of like overnight into the morning, doing various activities. It was a really good time to kind of like cap off a senior year, which was a lot of fun. So I really appreciate their help and support in putting that together for you guys. So, obviously I'm running through a lot of information super quickly, but are there any questions, or does anybody have any thoughts or anything that they'd like to ask at this point in time? By all means, please do so. And then before we open it up, I just want to let you know that we'll do a meeting for parents coming up in the next couple of weeks, just to run through these events also and allow for questions to be asked during that time. So know that you'll be able to hear this information hopefully with more details as we get closer to those events. So I'll be quiet.
Mr. Daniels has joined us as well. So Mr. Daniels, before we get to student questions, if there was anything that you wanted to add, I know you've been sending out emails and requests for students to submit, particular materials. So if you wanted a minute to address that.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Just a few things. You guys will know, I sent an email out beginning of last week. I actually sent 2 or 3 out to the entire class. Also on the class of 2021 Google Classroom. That has 3 different Google Forms on it. So one of them is senior pictures. We're looking for your baby picture, a senior photo for the class video, and then any other school appropriate. And I put like big asterisks on that. If I'm cycling through all these photos, I don't want anything that's not appropriate. Just know that I am looking through them, and I put that on the email. So just going to emphasize that again. School appropriate photos would be great. That we could plug into the class video, and that'll be shared at either graduation and or class night, depending on layout and format and things like that as we get a little bit closer. So get those in ASAP. From what I've been told, that's the most difficult thing to get. I've had emails from probably a dozen parents already saying, hey, I heard something about a senior photo, but my son or daughter or student has not said anything about it. So just make sure you guys are, doing that and submitting that. Then there's also the class will. For those of you who don't remember, maybe it was a little bit different last year because I think you actually had to go watch the video to hear the class wills, so it might not be as fresh for a lot of you, but the class will is kind of a fun way to like leave something to a peer, staff member or student in the building. So I think if you saw the example I said, I think I said, I, Mr. Daniels, leave Mrs. Rose the skill and ability to make it down the mountain without falling, keep shredding the gnar, okay? Something silly. It could be serious, could be fun. Could be to a staff member, could be to, a fellow classmate, another student, whatever. It's just kind of a fun way to leave something. It's a pretty unique thing of school tradition we do here. And then the last thing I asked for was class memories. We're in the process of writing a class history for the last 4 years. And I know it's super easy to hyper focus on COVID that we've been dealing with, but there's been a lot of other interesting things that happened over the last 4 years. For example, like the water shortage your freshman year and the like windstorm that kept us out of school for a week. So all those things, we're just looking for other memories or other experiences that some of you may have had shared. What's that?
I said, maybe there's some positive ones in there too.
True. Yeah. So we're just looking for memories in general. That way, there's been like selected class officers over the years. So we're going to be writing those, which is read at class day usually. I believe I get them confused, one of those. So we're just looking for some memories to kind of share that knowledge and some of those memories with everyone else. So if you guys can get those 3 things done ASAP, that'll be huge. I'll send out the links again here soon so you'll have them all. And I'm going to keep doing it like once or twice a week repetitively. But the faster you get them in, the more time we'll have to prepare things, which will make it way easier on us. So greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Great. And just a quick plug for community service hours. There are a small handful that still need to get those hours done. So get those recorded and submitted to Ms. Curran. Send me an email. I know I have one student email I need to reply to regarding ideas, but we are close to the end of our time for Radar Connection. So if there are any student questions, you can either put them in the chat. Ms. Cloutier is monitoring the chat for us, or you can raise your hand and we can call on you and get those questions answered for you to the best of our abilities. Ms. Cloutier, do you see any questions in the chat thus far? No? Okay. All right, and our participants are starting to dwindle off here, so.
Whatever, you're just leaving, not even asking questions?
Guess not. Maybe we were thorough. Cross our fingers for that. If you have questions, feel free to email us. Feel free to reach out to Mr. Daniels, your class advisor, us in the main office or in the guidance office to get your questions answered. We'll all try our best to make sure that you have as much information as you need to have a great end of your senior year and your 4 years here with us at Oak Hill. So reach out as needed and we would be happy to connect back with you.
Cool, thanks guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.